July wrap up. I read a lot of books in July and I'm so proud of myself. I've got a lot done in July, and yeah, I knew I'd get a lot done, but I didn't think I'd get quite this much done. I've already done my booktubeathon wrap up for that week, but these are the books I read overall. So yeah, I'm going to start showing you them now. The first book I read was Sweet Scarlet by Maureen Johnson. I've already got a review of this, so it will be linked down below. This is a book about a girl called Scarlet who lives in a hotel, and she has a room to take charge of, and somebody moves into that room who's really rich and famous, and she has to be that person's personal assistant. I really enjoyed the humour this one had, and it was so realistic, and I had 4 out of 5 stars. And I loved it so much. I really just enjoyed this and I want to read more Maureen Johnson. The next book I read was a Christian fiction book for the month, and that was There You'll Find Me by Jenny B. Jones. I'd read a bit of this in June and I just kind of finished it off at the beginning of July. I enjoyed it, but it was a bit cliche and cheesy, but a good read if you're in the mood for some cliche cheesy stuff, but I just don't think I was in the right mindset to be reading something this cheesy, but I still gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read, I also have a review of, and that was The Savages by Matt Wyman, and I got this from Hotkey. It's about a family of cannibals, and I highly enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, loved it, so funny, just dark humour, so funny. I really enjoyed this one. Next, I read Unremembered by Jessica Brody, and I think this one is one of my favourite books of the year because I just flew through it. I loved it so much. It's just so fast paced. It's about a girl who wakes up being told she was on a plane crash and is the only survivor of that plane crash, but she can't remember anything, not even her own name. And then this guy starts popping up around her life telling her that he knows her and calling her Serafina, and she doesn't know whether she can trust him or not. It's really cool. It's a lot different to what I thought it was going to be. I really thought it was going to be a contemporary about a girl with amnesia, which isn't really appealing to me that much, but it turned out to be more fantasy. So if you're putting this aside thinking that it's going to be a contemporary, don't, because it is fantasy and it's really good. I really loved it. Next book I read was The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan, and it is needless to say that I loved this book. It was so good, just more Percy and Annabeth, and they were together, and it was probably the best book in the Heroes of Olympus so far because I just love Annabeth and Percy together. Needless to say, that was a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book was another review book that I have a review of, and that was Unstoppable by Liz Banks. This is a kind of rom-com-ish book, but I have a review of it, so I'm not going to say too much. Go link down below if you want to check that out. Next we get on to my booktubeathon read, so I'm not going to say too much because I have wrap up, so I'm just going to show you the books. And so I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick, The Archive by Victoria Schwab. I also read Slated by Terry, which I don't have because I got from the library, so picture will be up somewhere, and Fractured by Terry during that week. But again, I have a booktubeathon wrap up for that week. Next, after the booktubeathon, I read Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. This is the second book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, and I enjoyed this one a lot more than I enjoyed the first one. I have a review of the first one, but as I've mentioned in that review, I kind of was a bit iffy on it because the actual point of the story didn't start till like halfway through. So this one was a lot better because we knew about the world, we knew about the powers and stuff. I really enjoyed it. It's got a lot of cool pictures as well. I liked some of the animal ones. They were really good. Next is another one I got from the library, and that is Anya's Ghost by, I don't know who it's by, but a picture will be up on the screen so you'll know who it's by. Really enjoyed this one. It's a graphic novel about a girl who falls down a well and meets a ghost, and the ghost starts tagging along with her to school and stuff, but it's a lot darker than that, so don't just take that to think, oh, it's all going to be fun, a ghost is going to help her do her homework and stuff, because it starts out like that, but it's got a lot different when it gets down to it. But I really enjoyed this. I have a review of it, which will be linked down below, but I really loved it. Definitely check it out. Next book I read was one that I was highly anticipating, and I got it for review. It's not out yet. It should be out sometime in August. I'm not sure when. Sorry, I'm looking down at my phone to get my rating up for it. I think I know what I rated it, but yeah. I have a review of it, and that is The Illusionist by Laura Eve. This is the second book in the Fearsome Dreamer duology, and I loved it so much. It was just the best. I loved it. Great conclusion to the series, but I have a review, so I won't say too much. Plus, it's the second book in the series, so I can't like tell you the plot or anything. So yeah, just read these books. So good. Loved them. Go watch my review. Next book I read was kind of I feel really bad for this one, but that's Destination Unknown by Amy Clipston, and I gave this one 2 out of 5 stars. I just really didn't like it at all. It was so cliche. The dialogue was just not written well. I was generous to give it 2 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed reading it, but I don't think it deserves any more than 2 stars just because it wasn't good. It was cliche, and it was just about a girl who gets a tutor and then she goes through a bit of a life crisis and stuff. It's just a bit boring and a bit bland, but yeah. And the last book I read in July was Monument 14 by Emily Laybourne, and I really enjoyed this one. It was a weird take on the post-apocalyptic genre. This is about some kids that are stuck in a supermarket at when the world is like ending outside their doors. And yeah, it's really enjoyable. It's funny and realistic. I think this is something that could realistically happen if the end of the world happened and kids were stuck in a supermarket. They're realistic kids. They don't just freak out about it or get really good at surviving and stuff and really quickly. They freak out a bit and get drunk a lot because some of them are teenagers and get high, and it's believable. I really liked that it was believable. So that was my July wrap up. I read 16 books in July, and that was just blew my mind. And most of the books, there's only one book that I didn't really like this month. Every other book I loved. So I will see you in my August TBR. Bye!